Elon Musk just revealed Tesla's new insane motor. As a company, Tesla is always looking for innovative ways to solve problems, no matter how big or small they are. That's what makes them at the top. Tesla has announced that they are making a new motor that is obviously different from any other ordinary motor. Musk said, "Something we're really proud of is this new carbon sleeve rotors for the motor." Well, you might be wondering what's so different about this new motor? Or why is Musk saying that he is really proud of this? So, as you know, there's only one way to find out. Give the video a thumbs up and stay tuned to find out. Hello everyone, welcome to Genius's Guide, your daily dose of geniusness. And in today's video, we're going to talk about Tesla's new motor, which is definitely a game changer. So, without any further delay, let's get into it. Nikola Tesla invented the first induction motor around 100 years ago, and has since been followed by a number of others. Basically, it consists of two parts, a stator and a rotor. Rotors consists of a collection of conducting bars that are short-circuited by end rings. A three-phase AC power output is given to the stator. The three-phase AC that passes through the coil produces a magnetic field. A Tesla motor produces a four-pole magnetic field. By rotating the magnetic field, a current is created in the rotor bars, causing them to rotate. In an induction motor, the rotor usually lags behind the rotor speed, RMF speed. Despite the fact that an induction motor has no brushes or a permanent magnet, it remains very powerful. Induction motors have one of the most amazing features. Their rotation speed is dependent on the frequency of the AC power supply. It means that varying the power supply frequency is all that is needed to change the speed at which the wheels turn. Because of this, Tesla's speed control system is easy to use and reliable. In fact, a Tesla motor can range from 0 to 18,000 RPM. With the help of a battery pack, the induction motor gets the power it requires in order to operate. However, it produces DC power, which means that before the supply can get to the motor, it has to be converted from DC to AC. So here's the point where the inverter comes into play. This inverter is not only able to convert DC to AC, but it is also able to control the AC frequency, which in turn affects the speed of the motor. In fact, the inverter can even adjust the amplitude of the AC motor, which controls the power the motor is able to produce. The inverter, in the simplest of terms, is the brain of the electric car. But what makes Tesla cars so reliable? Actually, it has been proven that the Tesla Model S can continue to function well after passing 400,000 miles and does not break down often. In general, this is because electric cars are not as dependent on mechanical movement in order to function. Therefore, there is less risk of something failing due to fewer moving parts. Elon Musk provided more information about Tesla's new electric motor, the plaid carbon-wrapped motor, and even hinted at an even crazier version with more revs in the new Roadster. In our expectations, we were hoping that Tesla would divulge more details about the new powertrain technology for the refreshed version of the electric sedan during the presentation of the new Model S at the delivery event, which Tesla developed as part of its Palladium program. But it is quite surprising that the CEO did not go too deeply into the new technology during his speech. For example, he only mentioned a brand new battery pack without going into new details. However, he did gain attention by unveiling Tesla's new plaid carbon-wrapped motor and providing some details about the new technology, which allows for smaller and more powerful and more efficient motors. These motors are small enough to be picked up by one person, while also being able to produce insane rotation speeds. Super handy and super fast at the same time. Anyway, in his presentation, Musk touched briefly on the fact that Tesla developed a new machine to be able to build this motor, and that it is, as a result, only possible to build it with this new machine. He also pointed out that this is hard to accomplish since carbon and copper have different rates of thermal expansion. To achieve a carbon overwrap rotor, you need to wind it at very high tension. Musk explained this through his tweets that say, "Fiber is wound over a rotor at high tension load." The machine to do this was made by Tesla Automation. Carbon sleeves must put the copper rotor in compression or it loosens at low temperatures due to differential thermal expansion. Preload is also helpful for maintaining a precise gap to the stator. In addition, Elon provided some more information about how the fibers are wound. It is wound over the rotor at an extremely high tension load. The machine used to wind it has been designed by Tesla Automation. Tesla Automation is a German company that was founded in 1983 as Grumman Engineering and is based there. The company became Tesla Automation in 2016 and it is headquartered in Prüm, Germany. If the copper rotor is not put in compression by the carbon sleeve, then at low temperatures it would loosen. The reason for this is differential thermal expansion. So in general, the main advantage of the new motor is that it uses a carbon fiber sleeve rotor that produces a stronger electromagnetic field than a rotor that is formed from metal. According to Musk's tweets, most of these are usually made of high-strength steel, which makes them highly durable. Another benefit of using a carbon sleeve is that it allows the copper rotor to run at a higher RPM, since the carbon sleeve prevents the copper rotor from expanding from the radical acceleration. His tweet read, "Main advantage of this is a much stronger EM field compared with a rotor that is held together by metal, usually high-strength steel. Other advantage is that rotor can go to high RPM as carbon sleeve mostly stops copper rotor from expanding due to radial acceleration." To put it shortly, Tesla can now push its new motors to a higher level of performance with their new carbon-wrapped rotors. Musk again claimed that Tesla's new electric motor is arguably the most advanced motor on Earth, in the same series of tweets. Alex, a user on Twitter, shared an interesting thought that Elon replied to him, with some additional information about why this feature will be available, in which he hinted that the automaker is working on something even more advanced for the new Roadster. The plaid carbon-wrapped motor is arguably the most advanced motor on Earth outside of maybe a lab somewhere. We have to keep some secrets. We have a few ideas for increasing torque and max RPM even further for the new Roadster. Definitely fun and exciting engineering ahead. Musk had previously addressed Tesla using the same tri-motor drivetrain as used in its new Model S for the new Roadster, which would be able to achieve greater performance due to the new Roadster's smaller form factor. But now it looks like Tesla may also be improving its drivetrain technology. It is expected that Tesla will have new engineering prototypes of the new electric hypercar by the end of this summer. Because Musk hinted at this through his tweet that says, "I think we've really taken it to a whole new level with Plaid." So, when Tesla designed new carbon-wrapped motors, it created a land rocket, the quickest production car on the planet. The car can reach a maximum speed of 60 miles per hour in just 1.9 seconds. And I can attest that it is both intense and fun. Isn't it so nice that Tesla plans to break its own records with this new machine and those Tesla secrets? There is a very high probability that the record acceleration for the Tesla Model S Plaid will eventually be broken. And it is very likely that it will be broken by another Tesla vehicle in time. I guess Roadster 2.0. But right now, all we can do is hope, because Tesla hasn't launched any new car for quite some time. There are two reasons for this. The first is the corona pandemic, and the second is the shortage of chips, which allows Tesla cars to be self-driven. However, when Musk announced that he was going to produce his own chips, it has given a lot of hope that now Tesla will be able to produce their most anticipated project, the Cybertruck. Anyway, what do you guys think about this? Tell us in the comments, and make sure to hit the like button and subscribe for us to provide you with more must-know developments in finance and technology. And we'll see you in the next one. Until then, peace.